You guys just thought you were done with me. You thought you'd gotten rid of me, and here I am like a bad horror movie from the 80s. You thought there were no more sequels, and here I am, the 13th part. No, seriously, guys, I just want to kind of give you a heads up on what's going on today and talk about a little bit more. Just a couple of weeks ago, had an opportunity to speak at another church. And now today, Amy and I are on vacation. We're actually down in Warner Robins visiting a church down there, and excited about that. Just on vacation, resting. Want to see how the rest of the world does church, and just enjoy worship and hearing a good message and all. And we'll be back tomorrow morning in the office, all that good stuff, having a good time. But here's what happened. Youth Sunday is next week. In fact, it's the 10th, and Rusty's pretty much, he's gotten the book out there. Some of his leaders have read it. Many of you have read it, by David Platt. It's called Radical. It's a good book. But it talks an awful lot about giving up the things of this world, the materialism of this world, all of that, and giving it all to Christ. Basically, he's talking an awful lot about missions. Right now, David Platt is head of our Southern Baptist mission board. So I mean, he's pretty much given up a huge church and gone into working with missions full time. So I mean, he's kind of doing what he said people ought to do if that's your calling and that kind of thing. But what he does is call you to a radical life, and that's what they're going to be focusing on February 10th. We're going to be out here building building huts and things for people to walk through as they go into church and stuff. We're going to have a good time doing that. But I do want you guys to know that we have an opportunity to serve God in an amazing way. And it's not just in foreign missions. I mean, it's easy to go and, to go to Guatemala and all, raise the money, go there, play with kids, enjoy that, work, build, and all that. And I say easy in this sense, in that we go there and we're accepted and we're wanted there. There are an awful lot of places you can go, and I hope you will. I hope you'll go somewhere where where people are kind of skeptical of you and don't necessarily want you there. And that's an awful lot of places in the United States. Go wherever you can all over the world, build, help, tell them about Jesus all that you can. You need to do that. That's the main thing, is that we're telling them about Jesus. But here's the other thing. There are an awful lot of places in the United States that desperately need our help. Now I've been all over the world. They need your help. They need your money more than anything. Missionaries need your money more than anything to get the gospel out there and to help and to build and all those kind of things like that. But there are kids here who need to be loved. If you want to be radical, if you want to be different than everybody else, then you sign up to go to some of these things that seem normal to you. Well, I don't know how I'm going to help there. Just get your arms, pick up something, clean up. The usual suspects are going with us to Florida. I know Stephanie Blunt kind of headed that up for us, but in just a few weeks in March, we're going to be going to we headed down to Florida to start cutting up some limbs and getting some debris out of the way. We want to do that. They still need help down there, and we're going to check right before we go to make sure they still need us. But the ultimate goal there is to work, but it's the usual suspects. I mean, we got the 4 or 5 guys that always go down there. I remember Cody's going to go down there with us and all, and there's probably Johnny, and there's Roger, and there's Mark, and there's me, and I mean just the usual suspects. Amy's going to try to go down there. I think Teresa maybe. So we got the usual guys going down there. We talk about radical. Hey, we'll get fired up on the 10th about how radical we ought to be. Oh man, got to go all over the world. No, hey, you can go in your backyard and help. If you can't make it all over the world, if you can't do that, this country's falling apart, folks. We just passed a law that we can abort children up to the moment a woman is dilating, and that's just ridiculous. And if that child is born, that they can't even give it health care. Those are animals that passed those laws. Those were animals. I don't even believe they're human. I mean, I'm just having to work through that, and Lord forgive me. I don't know how to do that except to say that Satan was in them when they passed that law. Let me say this too. Today is a special day. I said, listen, Rusty, can you let the youth, because normally they would teach Sunday schools next week. I said, can you let Caleb teach this week instead, because I missed a couple weeks ago and I want to come back full steam, ready to go and teach and all. Can you let Caleb teach the week I'm out? He said, sure, that'd be fine. And let me just tell you a little bit about Caleb. Caleb was called full swing. I've known Caleb since he was born. Just a super kid, super young man. Just like any teenager, I'm sure he's got his ups and downs, but I'm telling you something, he feels called. Okay, he feels called. And whenever we feel called, when we first get called, it's a tough road to hoe. He has been the only one of the only youth that would come in this class and stand up in front of the class and teach it. There are a few in there that will do it, but he's one of the few that will stand up and do it. I believe Eric, I'm not sure because I'm not there, but I believe Eric's coming in here with him and just kind of, calm his spirit a little bit. But I appreciate Caleb. Caleb means a lot to me. Maybe he'll tell you the story of diving through my window from the deck. Maybe he'll tell you about that. But anyway, good kids. I'm excited about what God's doing. I certainly hope this. This is what I hope. I hope that more and more kids, youth, and adults will feel a calling from God's calling to do things for Him. And it doesn't just mean, man, I do have to missionary or preach or teach or youth leader or something like that. No, it doesn't just mean that. It means any number of things that we need in this church. To be radical is to be obedient. So please be obedient to God. If He's calling you to do something, please do it. Hey, and by the way, Chris, and I know Chris has done prayer requests. He's going to do announcements, that kind of thing like that. But just tell Chris, everybody make sure, Jessica, make sure that Chris, make sure he unplugs the coffee pots, because if it burns down, they're not going to blame Chris. They're going to blame me. So make sure that they do that. Yeah, that would be awesome. I love all of you. I miss you. I really do. Have enjoyed this week. I'm about to work on putting together a basketball goal for Knox, and we went in halves to buy this thing. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. It didn't make me cuss, but if you wrote it on a sheet of paper, I'd have signed it. I mean, it's a mess. It's like 200 parts to a basketball goal. You'd figure, hey, just pull it out of the box, flop it up, play a little basketball. But no, it's 200 parts, and I'm not looking forward to it. But anyway, love you guys a whole bunch, and y'all know that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not just saying that. Can't wait to get back to serving you. We'll see you soon, okay? Bye-bye.